A quick post-mortem on the Harris campaign that I find interesting is she spent over $1 billion with a capital B. Like, for that short of a campaign, she spent all the money. She's $20 million in debt right now. Spent all the money. Let's see.
Yeah, she spent more than she took in, I think.
Yeah, she owes $20 million. She's $20 million in the hole. And like the fundraising emails for the before the last filing of the campaign cycle, they sent out this email saying, we've got this very important media buy that we want to get, and we need money. We need money. We don't have enough. And then they didn't get that number. And so the next day they're like, unfortunately we didn't hit our target, but we're still going to do the media buy. We think it's that important. So what we need now is for you to fundraise, so that we can pay for that. And they didn't get it then. So now they're also sending stuff out like, well, there's still going to be challenges for House and Senate seats, and we'll need money for that. And so they're fundraising on that kind of stuff, but it's like they're just using it to pay the $20 million. That's Obama's second term. He got in the hole real big. And one way that Hillary was able to convince the DNC that she was a team player and deserved it more than Bernie was that she was like, I'll pay the debts. So the Clinton campaigns, because they had all their not slush money, they're just like, we'll pay off the debts and we'll go from there. And they went, you're in. And Bernie's like, I won't do that. I don't have money, but I do like pudding. And they said, not today, Bernie. How about never? But here, some of the interesting stuff is, so this is Washington Examiner. Let's see. So Harris campaign spent over $880 million in the election compared to Trump's $354 million. So for anybody keeping track at home, Trump spent less than half as much money. And according to what they disclosed, let's see. Yeah, payroll. The fun stuff is how authentic all that love for her was. Let's see. They paid a marketing agency $3.9 million to reportedly recruit thousands of social media influencers to boost Harris. So all those people that all those popular accounts that became Harris stands, a lot of them were on payroll. I'm sure maybe they like her anyway, but you like her a lot better for $50,000, It's like, hey, $50,000, put out a tweet. $50,000, make a little video on TikTok, It's like, okay, I will. Maybe you were indifferent before. Maybe you were like, I think I'll vote for it. I don't know. I'm not really political here. $50,000 political? $50,000 political. And don't get me wrong, I am for sale.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I'll do one.
I'll do 7. I'll do one for all the candidates. Let's see. There's another fun one in here. Event production was a big one where they had musicians like Lady Gaga and Katy Perry. They paid more than $15 million for events.
They're expensive.
Yeah, all those concerts they did where it was like, a free event, and what's it's going to sing, and then Kamala Harris will be there, and look how many people showed up to the free thing to hear Kamala. Also the concert, the celebrities were there, but so all those people were not throwing in their time for free out of support. That was a paid gig. It was a paid gig. She was on Oprah Winfrey in that interview where she was like, gat, busting my house. Here, go black. Well, she paid $1 million to Oprah's Harpo Productions for that. So she paid $1 million for that. Oprah did not say, come on, let's talk. They paid $1 million. And then, of course, Oprah showed up for some other stuff. I bet you maybe the town hall and the final rally, maybe that one was free, but
what a deal.
What a deal. Pay me $1 million, I'll interview you on my show, and then I'll show up to a thing for free.
Right.
Maybe.
Paid the $1 million and whatever she made just from the show.
Yeah. Advertising. Let's see. Then there's Viva Creative that touts that it works with Oprah, Trevor Noah, The Washington Nationals and American Express, they got another $1.8 million for events between September and October. There's another 1.7 to another event company. And
This is the end of the article.
let's see. So, blah, 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 blah. So event. Where is... Okay, so the Call Her Daddy podcast. Are you familiar with this podcast?
Mm-mm.
It's actually a huge one. It started off on Barstool Sports, and it used to be these two gals. Now it's down to the one. There was some sort of beef or whatever, but they do. They talk a lot about like sissy things, and so it's, I don't know, talking about relationships and all the ins and outs, a little in and out that might be throughout a relationship. So it's got a good base, especially among the ladies. Like ladies like it. So it's a very popular podcast, and so she was on that, and that was like the long form interview that Kamala did. I was like Oprah, and it was like Call Her Daddy. Well, they wanted to do it in a hotel in D.C. They didn't want to go to Call Her Daddy Studios, just like they didn't want to go to Rogan's place. They wanted it under control. So they spent over $100,000 building a set for Call Her Daddy in the hotel so they could do the podcast there.
Why? My God.
Because she wanted to be on the because that was the only way it would work. Like, I mean, imagine, I mean, you don't have to imagine. Look at our budgets. I was going to say, imagine her with the keys to the kingdom and expenses. You know, she's been a senator. She's been a vice president. We've seen. So all of this stuff, all of this very natural support from all these musicians, celebrities, Call Her Daddy, all this stuff that was just grassroots was all paid. I mean, let's see. I think
No wonder her spending was so high.
Yeah, I mean, she's been like just left and right. And you know what? I think I've only seen one of her commercials maybe 2 or 3 times. And like during a football game, there's one. And in the commercial, during football, she used the line from the debate where she said, "I've never asked a victim or witness if they're Republican or Democrat. I just asked if they were okay." Which is one of the worst lines that's ever been written when you're talking about a prosecutor.
You're supposed to be doing your job.
There's so many questions you're supposed to ask. If all you ask is, "Are you okay?" your conviction rate is not going to be okay. You know, it's like, it just doesn't even make sense. Like, it's like, I'm law and order. I've had to prosecute these drug cartels. And it's like, all right. And so we're flipping a member of the drug cartel. What do we do? It's like, "Are you okay?" I see. We're done.
Prosecution rests.
Prosecution rests. He's okay. Yeah. So what do you think of, and so, you know, obviously, like Trump, he accepted invitations, or, you know, helped coordinate them, of course, but he accepted invitations on a podcast as opposed to rejecting them. He'd go to see them, though I think old, I just blanked on his name, funny guy from Louisiana, Theo Vaughn. I think Theo Vaughn had to come to Mar-a-Lago or something like that, but either way, he went on set for Flagrant, went on set for Rogan, he went all these places, and it does not appear that he paid to go on those places. Seems that he just went there to have a conversation with the people. And apparently, when you look authentic, it works better than when you pay a lot of money to pretend you're authentic.
I'd hate to be the accountant on Harris's team. Like, you spent what to do what?
Yeah, the treasurer. Like, there is no treasure. And there's certain things with accounts, or with federal accounts, you're what is it? Like, I think on state run, you can get a credit card, but on federal elections, you can't. There's something like that, which is one of those things, like, to get into the hole, you basically have to have like net 30 or something, like bill me later, and then you go, just keep billing me later, you know? But you can't get a loan or something like that unless it's from the candidate. Like, a candidate can loan to a campaign, but that's it. So yeah, that's That is a lot of money spent on failure. Epic, epic failure. If you enjoyed that segment from the Loaded Talk podcast, please click below for the full episode and consider liking and subscribing. As always, you can go to loadedtalk.com to follow all things Loaded Talk.